Hey everybody, how's it going? I am now live. There are no viewers, but I did tweet the link out already, so you don't have to watch me figure out where the link is, go to Twitter, etc. And I will go to the chat so I can watch that. I can't find it. Here we go. And I gotta turn the volume down. What's up? I hope everybody has had an awesome start to the week. Things are good here. I have a bit of a headache tonight, not gonna lie. But yeah, how's everybody doing? I'm gonna just start chatting. There's a few people in here. We'll let people trickle in. This is just crazy, right? I announced it. We started this thing, but then I don't think you get the notification until like I actually hit the broadcast button, which is totally fine. But it still then becomes this like dead air while we wait for people to show up, and then nobody knows what I'm talking about. So I've gotta. What's up, Brad? How's everybody's week been? Things have been good here. The weather has just been like perfect. We had a really great weekend. I did post the footage you're seeing me post these days, and I'm not doing these live ones, are like about a week. I'm like a week delayed in some of the stuff that I post. So we actually had a really good weekend. The stuff I posted last night was actually from a week ago Sunday, where my daughter was sick. But this weekend was good. This weekend was like, went to the beach, just kind of enjoyed, I don't even know what we did, just really kind of thoroughly enjoyed a really good weekend in Chicago. But yeah, now I'm kind of nursing a little bit of a headache, but things are good. Really awesome summer in Chicago that we have just kind of, we try to squeeze as much as we can out of it. So yeah, so welcome. Brad, how's your week going? Anybody else here want to get into the live chat? How's everybody's Monday and Tuesday starting out? Felipe, cool, good to hear. Felipe says everything is going smooth. You can probably hear there's people outside in the lobby. We can hear them. Anyway, there was some stuff that came up here. I thought a good topic would be to talk about just a little bit more about my biography of like how I got into this stuff to begin with. This goes back, someone who brought this up was someone at, oh, Kyle, your day's rough. I'm sorry to hear that. What, you want to share anything? Share in the comments if you want. We can maybe help if something we can help with. What's up, Jim? So anyway, I'm working with a PR company. We hired a PR company. We retained them for like a 6-month project, which is really been really interesting. Really interesting working with professionals to kind of help amplify the stuff that we're doing here on this vlog, what we're doing on the stuff I write about. And so they've been just asking me questions on background. And so like today I had a meeting with them and they just asked some questions that like pulled up a lot of stuff that I've talked about on previous posts and things. But I thought if you are new to kind of my background and my history, you might get something out of this. My background was originally in chemical engineering. That's what I did in college. And so, I was like this trained chemical engineer. When I got to between my junior and senior years, I did this internship at a uranium processing plant. And it was in Paducah, Kentucky, kind of an interesting area. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was, but I didn't love going to a uranium processing plant every day. There were things I had to do, like just to do some simple experiments. I had to don the acid-proof suit. Yeah. Anyway. Anyway, so I think this will quiet down in a second. So anyway, I had to like don an acid-proof suit just to kind of do a simple experiment, because it was like in a uranium processing plant, you're doing something called fluorinating uranium, which is like got hydrofluoric acid which is like this insanely dangerous chemical that'll like burn right through your skin. And I think it stops at bone, because I think the calcium in your bone might react. So anyway, it's terrible stuff. And so you'd have to wear an acid-proof suit just to do some of the things that you wanted to do in the plant. You'd have to carry a gas mask, multiple gas masks, depending on what type of gas you're protecting yourself from. It was a nasty place, and I didn't see that's how I wanted my future. I didn't see that's where I wanted to end up for my career. I'm not knocking on anyone who loves doing that stuff. It didn't feel like it was for me. And the experiments I was working on felt very much like things I couldn't really control. I was studying these like things that people have been working on for decades, which is an interesting problem, but it was things that it felt like that we're never going to be able to figure out, because it was, no one could figure out the proper chemistry behind like what was going on after, hydrofluoric acid reacted to uranium, and what the byproducts do and what they were doing to the reactors and deteriorating all this stuff. It was a pain in the butt, and I wanted something else. And I met my boss at the time was this crazy cool entrepreneur guy. He was older than me, but he was doing all these like side projects where he was exploring, like he wanted to run his own, here he was a chemical engineer running at this plant and doing all this stuff, but he wanted to run a pizza place, and he would like do air quality testing to make some extra cash on the side. And he was just so inspiring to me that like he could do these like side hustles and still be like full-time, like super great engineer for this company, like wonderful employee, but still, do things on the side, figure out how to use his free time to run some things on the side, learn other things to become to start a new business on the side. And he was a great dad. He had multiple kids. He was an inspiration. And so when I got out of college, I was just dedicated to like, I've got to do this. Like, I've got to figure out how. And I also, during that summer, at that uranium processing plant, I broke my ankle, and I had this cast on, and they wouldn't let me into the rest of the uranium processing plant because they were afraid my cast was going to get contaminated with uranium, because we had to go through like a Geiger counter on our way out the door to make sure we weren't radioactive. I mean, this place was serious, crazy shit. And so because I had this cast, they wouldn't let me into the plant. I had to sit in front of a computer all day, and they found things for me to do during this internship so that I wouldn't waste my time. And I basically just worked on Excel macros for my boss to make life easier for him to do these like forecasts and things. And it was just simply that programming of Excel and the immediate impact I had on his life. Like, I could work on a macro, show it to him, get the feedback, change some things, and give it to him, like all in like such a quick succession. And I could just see how much time I saved with the guy. Like, it was just this wonderful feeling of being able to create with these tools versus kind of the feelings I was getting working with chemicals. So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to become a software entrepreneur based on these experiences. But a huge problem was I didn't have the software training. And so coming out of college, I took a job at Accenture that wasn't doing software. They actually put me into something called Process, where I did like take meeting requirements and minutes all day long. It was kind of a shitty job, but I did it because I had just got that much closer to doing software development and meeting people who did software development. So during my job, I just kept bugging people. I would email partners at Accenture. I would just cold email random people. They had an office directory. I would just email random people with ideas that I had of technology projects that I thought would be interesting for their clients. I'm sure a lot of it didn't make much sense. I was just like a young kid who didn't know much, but I did it. Like, I applied all that energy and still tried to communicate with random people. And at night, I just kept studying and working on software development. I'd ask people that were really good engineers at work questions on stuff I was trying to build. And when I would they finally allowed me to start doing software development when they realized like how much energy I was applying to this, how much I was learning on the side, how much stuff I was trying to do on the side and talk to random partners. And they would start giving me little projects, and I would just like spend all my time just squeezing out everything I could out of these things. They gave me this reporting software to just kind of create reports for people who were too busy to kind of learn the reporting software. But instead of just learning the reports and making some canned reports for them, I realized there was like a JavaScript like interface builder inside this tool, and I used every night to just like work on JavaScript interfaces that I could build, even if they didn't want them. I was going to build something and show it to them anyways. One, maybe they'd let me to keep doing it. Two, maybe I could impress them and get a different kind of job. And that's what happened. They ended up using some of my designs and using some of my GUIs that I made with JavaScript in this reporting software that they never told me to do. They ended up using them, and they thought it was a great idea. And then I ended up getting a promotion into a software position at Accenture. But it was just because of just nights and weekends and taking these little things and leveraging these little opportunities I was getting into something more. I think a lot of people would have taken a job at Accenture and just been like, man, this sucks. I hate it. I'm going to just quit and move on and do the next thing. But I noticed like I could leverage this. There's people around me who do software. There's resources. There's people I can meet. And so I squeeze everything I can out of these things that I get. And that's something I try to bring to like all these opportunities I'm getting, whether it's, work at Y Combinator or what I'm even doing at Highrise. Like things, not every project, not every idea works out, but there's lots of things that you can take from all these opportunities and leverage them for something more, something more, something more. I don't know. So that's my history. That's how I got into this business at all. I hope you get a little something out of it. When I go through this thing, I feel a little bit more energized to kind of go through all my low points and things that aren't working quite right. And remember, man, like I came from that. I mean, it took a long time to become a software entrepreneur. From 1998, maybe 1998 when I did that internship, to 2005 when I got into Y Combinator, was maybe my first successful really entry into becoming a software entrepreneur. It took 7 years. That's a big haul. I mean, there were projects I could have started along the way, things I experimented with, selling software, starting little software projects that didn't work out. But the real big one that did work out took 7 years to get to. I don't think it could have, I think I could have done it earlier, but there was a lot of false starts and things I could have done better. But I don't know if it's worth it, and it has been worth it. It took a lot of work. So that's more about me. I will look at some of these chat things. Brad says, it's going great. I saw your video on drip campaigns and it changed the way I'm planning my onboarding. That's awesome, Brad. That's fantastic. Brad's talking about it. I've talked before, I think, on this vlog. There's some posts of mine that talk about how we do some drip campaigns. We do them very manually right now. We customize the templates every single day, and we also try to send a lot of personal emails out, these video emails out to new customers. And Allison and Chris Gallo do this at Highrise, and they send out as many as they can. They can't hit all of our new customers because they can't send thousands of new emails every single day to new signups, but they can do, I don't know, Allison can bang out 100 in a day, I think. So she can't get everybody, but she can get 100, and it's awesome. It has a neat little impact. And for the rest of everybody, I send kind of a customized template that I change every single day. It's something. It brings a little bit of surprise, a little bit of delight to people in a place where they're probably used to just getting like robo emails that they know are just templates. Kyle says, exactly what you are talking about. I feel like I'm going down a path not meant for me as a junior engineer. Yeah, I mean, I've been there. I feel like I've been on paths before that I didn't really enjoy or want, and I felt like I was pigeonholed. But I don't know, like I'm 39 right now, and so I'm on the old side of a lot of stuff, of being on the internet, and it's challenging sometimes. I feel like sometimes, like, man, have I gotten too old to like change things up? But I don't. Like there's always something new to be learning, and I feel like, I don't know, I've got this willpower to do it. I don't know how to teach it maybe exactly, but it got me this far. It's like I see this new stuff I want to learn, and it's doable. It's totally possible to completely change the stuff that you have already been learning for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. Like you can definitely apply yourself to something new and see really tremendous results from it. It might not be immediate. It might take 7 years, but it's all doable. And with you're already a junior engineer, it sounds like a lot of these paths that we find ourselves on, whether it's a job or a project as an entrepreneur on, they're a lot shorter term than I think we usually think. I thought I would be working in Inkling for my whole life, which was my first project out of Y Combinator, and I think I just worked on it for about 5 years, which felt really long at the time, but looking back 5 years, that's just a blink of an eye. I've only been on Highrise for 3 years. It feels like a really long time. It's only been 3 years. So depending on your perspective, Really, when you get past this stuff, these projects are super short. So take them for all they're worth. All right, that's it for me. It's been, I don't even know how many minutes because there's no counter on what I am looking at on YouTube. YouTube Live, please, you've got to improve this stuff. How can I help you, give you feedback? Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're getting something out of all of these. And I hope you got something out of this one. If you dig it, please hit the thumbs up. Please spread it on Twitter, on Facebook, and wherever you are. Tell your friends to tune into the Nathan Cotney YouTube channel. And I will see you all again tomorrow. Thanks, everyone, for spending your evening and part of your day with me. I appreciate it. Later, guys. Bye. Now you get to watch me figure out how to turn this thing off. There we go.